should break up in the relationship, let it go. You know, sing for me, baby. Give me a quick intro.
Think I better let it go. Looks like another love TKO.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. All right.
How do you know?
So, but before we get into that, y'all, because a lot of times we stay in stuff way too long.
Yeah.
We stay in stuff longer than we should. We give up more than we ever wanted to give up. Staying longer than we ever wanted to stay. And we lost a lot of ourselves in the process. So what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna tell you when you should actually break camp. I got these 10 things that I actually typed up. I thought about it, and I got some stuff I want to talk about. But I got to tell you, as always, how it came about. So what happened this go around? You know, we always get a letter every week, but this week the person called me. They called me, so I didn't get it. We didn't get the letter. They called us, and here's what they said in essence. They said, "Hey, Ken, listen, I've been in this relationship going on about 3 years. I love the person. I think I'm in love with him, but I'm not really sure. And we're gonna address that in a minute too. If you think you're in love,
you know what? You do your same letter. You have the same letter and telephone voice. You like you gotta change it up. Like that's your letter voice. That's when you read a letter voice. I need your voice to change for the phone."
Okay. Let me change it up.
Okay, go ahead.
So she said, she was like, yo, I don't know if I should stay in this. And then I asked her one question. I said, why do you stay? You know, and that seems like a simple question, but I said, I want you to think a little bit deeper in it. Think a little bit deeper of why you actually stay. If you're disgruntled, you guys are not happy, then why do you stay? And so at the end of the day, it boiled down to I extracted from her that she stays because she feels like I don't want to be alone.
Hey, brother.
So what we found out is she says, I don't want to be alone. So what happens is she's staying in a relationship longer than she should, giving up more than she should because she doesn't want to be alone.
So many people do that. I'm speaking for women because I'm a woman. I haven't been a man yet, so I cannot go from a man's point of view.
Right.
So I'm going to speak for women at this point. A lot of women will take a portion of a man, a piece of man, a man that's not available, a man that is not available emotionally or physically.
Well, I would be available physically.
Well, when I say physically,
what piece you want to get.
But when I say physically, I don't mean sexually. I mean like physically. You know, like we do it, but after we leave the dumpster, you gotta go home. So you're not available, you know, for me to hug and touch and feel.
Hey,
and so
after all that's over, when we hugging and touching and feeling.
That's and so we'll take that piece of man. We'll take, you know, Mr. Charlie from down the street, you know, who can only come over there when he's supposed to be at the grocery store. You know, we'll take a brother that's not working, with no potential. We talked about the potential with no potential, no desire, and no drive.
Wow. And so let's get into the reasons why. So what we did was.
You gotta comment on what I just said. Don't be just acting like I ain't saying nothing. That was good, wasn't it, y'all?
No, it was good. I was actually going to feed off of it in our next point. But
that's not what you said. You said, okay, let's go to the next point.
Well, you know,
but you tell me what
from time to time I might be quick on it.
You tell me what your thoughts.
I think a lot of times because people have a deep-seated need.
Don't tell me about people. Tell me about men.
Okay, well, for men, so we're talking about men.
Why would a man stay in a relationship longer than
a man would stay in a relationship for the same reason a woman would stay in a relationship? Okay, number one, out of habit.
Oh,
out of habit. We've been together so long. Okay, this is what I know. Okay, I've been conditioned to think this, be with this, and I'm going to teach y'all something tonight that's powerful. There's a thing called assimilation. Assimilation is when I assimilate into your life. So now I'm into your life. We go to church together. We work out together. We start doing stuff together. I've assimilated my life into yours. And when that happens, when that happens, the brain actually takes a picture of that. And it's hard to break it. It's just like any other habit, even if the stuff is going wrong. Even if things are going wrong. Assimilation. Yeah. So that was good, right? Like that? All right. So let me continue.
Some of y'all need to stop assimilating.
But it's hard though, Nick,
It is.
because we're fighting against biology. Biology is your brain wants to preserve itself. So the brain says, let me stay in this relationship as bad as it is because I don't want to be alone. I don't want to have to go out there and find somebody else who might hurt me. Because at least
I don't want to have to retrain a brother. I already got you trained. So.
Right, there you go. So at least you know what you
see. Go ahead.
Right. And then Rashad says a lot of people in a relationship with someone just because they don't want to be the only single person in their circle.
Oh, wow.
That might be true. But let me give you a couple of other reasons why people stay in relationships. And we're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about when you should let it go. But
I'm say, happy birthday, Aunt Ron. I had to say that.
Happy birthday, Aunt Ron. All right. Number one, they stay in too long because we've been together so long.
Okay.
Number two, the second reason is they say, I still love him or her. I still love them.
I hear so many people. Well, I have to go with women because that's what I talk with. They, it's like a dude could be kicking their booty tail, sleeping with all the neighbors in the neighborhood, taking your money. I mean, just anything. And then it's like, okay, I never try to tell anyone to leave unless it's
I do.
I don't tell people to leave unless they're in some type of danger. That's a decision that you have to make yourself. But
I'm a coach. A coach gonna tell you the truth. I tell you to leave. If it's time for you to leave, and we're gonna go into the reason why you need to leave. Now let me ask you a question there. If she was getting,
I could finish the question. I don't forget what I was saying.
I know you're a little older. You don't forget a lot of stuff. But listen there. If somebody beating a woman, physically abusing them, emotionally abusing them, sexually abusing them, or financially abusing them, that's 4 things. Abuse, would you tell them to stay?
I just said, had you let me finish.
I'm sorry.
I said, unless I felt like they were in some type of danger. Now, physically abusing, emotionally abusing, all of that is dangerous stuff.
Okay.
But if a brother, if a brother is sleeping around on you and you don't have an issue with it, what I'm gonna tell you to leave for?
Because you're a coach, honey.
Safe.
Because you're a coach.
I know I would never tell a woman to leave a man. That has to be her decision. Now I may give her my opinion, and I may let her come up with that decision on her own. But you can't tell nobody.
So let me give you this. So let me tell you why we're gonna disagree.
I don't care what nobody say.
But listen.
Dick is stronger than words.
Dick is stronger than words. I get that.
Stronger than words.
I get that. But okay. But is dick stronger than you getting your arm broke, your collarbone broken?
I just said if they were in some type of danger, I would say you need to get out. But if it's because the man sleeping with somebody or
I'm gonna give you some
no job, that's on you.
Before the night, so I may give you another reason or two to show that you might say yes. But let me explain to you why I tell them to leave.
Okay.
Because as a coach, number one. A coach tells you the truth. Now, I will ask you probing questions. I will ask you questions about your life. Why? How did you get there? If you cannot come to the conclusion, but here's the problem. It's a thing called blind spotting. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, Net. There's a thing called blind spotting.
Blind spotted me 1,000 times.
What blind spotting is Net. You can look at this pen right here, right? And if you look at it hard enough, you won't see the stuff right behind it on the screen. Okay. That's what blind spotting is. You know how we send the girls to the cabinet, you might be like, bring me that syrup or bring me the ketchup. And the ketchup is right there. They'll sit there like, I don't see it. Oh, Blair has done that. Mm-hmm. And then I said, Blair, the ketchup is right there. She's like, I don't see it, because she doesn't want to do it. So as soon as I go in there and I show it to her, she's like, oh, I didn't see it. That's called blind spotting. Okay. What happens is in a relationship, because a person doesn't want to see something that's right there in front of them, they don't see it. So what I do as a coach is I make it plain and simple. Now, am I saying, do I go into a
No,
country?
I didn't say I didn't. I said okay, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna
Go ahead, because you're gonna say something about it.
No, no, but that's what I was saying. I talk to you and I let you come up with your own stuff. When you talk to somebody, you ask them the right questions. If they don't see what you see from that, they're not gonna see it. Even if you tell them to leave, if it's not in somebody's heart to leave, it don't matter what's in their head.
You're right, but at least, I'm not saying they will leave.
Okay.
I'm just saying what I would do.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. That's all. I'm saying that. All right, so y'all, let's get into it. All right, so what do you guys think? Our number here again at the store is 1-888 Grand Canyons. Call us on our line and we can take your
line. That ain't no real.
I'm speaking it into existence, baby.
Okay, but see, somebody done picked up their phone to dial it.
Hey, all right, blast.
They're trying to call in.
Call in.
Wait a minute. GRAN. Wait a minute, that's too many. See.
So I gotta ask you guys, what do you think? When is it time for you to break out of a relationship? I'm gonna give you 10 things.
How do you know? How do you know when it's time?
Yes. How do you know?
What are the signs?
Yeah, what are the signs? So I will just say this. Let me give you a couple of them. Okay, I got 10. Okay. Now, the first thing is when you know it's time to leave. Number one, when the person you're dating is more concerned with controlling you than loving you.
Ooh.
All right, number one, if the person you're dating is more concerned with controlling you than loving you.
Janet Jackson, I'm in control.
If you can't go to your friend, if the person gets mad when you go out with your friend, person gets mad if you talk to somebody and you don't talk to them, they want to call you and text you where your whereabouts. What's happening is, and you know it, you've seen it before, there's a healthy thing where I let you know where I'm at.
Right.
Or you let me know. But I know that you ain't trying to call me.
You know, it's not because you have to check in. It's just out of respect.
Right.
You know. But there's a thin line between that and control.
Yeah, but control is, you know how you know control? I'm gonna give you a case in point.
What?
And I wrote this down. I wrote this down right here and there. I said, when things that are normal or that aren't normal become the norm, there's a problem.
Oh.
It's kind of like the presidency. The things that we would never tolerate in normal politics. The president would never insult anybody else. The things that weren't normal have become the norm. And what happens is then that's the assimilation process. Now it becomes a part of our culture, a part of our lexicon. That's now when it becomes a part of it. You already told me you used to tell me you like my intelligence.
Yeah, brother.
Let me ask you a question. Did my intelligence make you give it to me the first time?
Huh?
Did my intelligence make you give it to me the first time?
I didn't know you was intelligent the first time. I just thought you was sexy.
I was intelligent enough to make you come out the house.
You know, actually with women, I knew I was going to come out of them before you said it.
You know what? That's somebody else. Is that true? Do women know if they gonna give a man something before they give it to him?
Yes, they do.
I'm talking about like if you meet a dude, you like
meet a dude and he taking you out to dinner, you eat, you like this. The worst thing is money because he will never see this.
So some dudes will never. You already know.
But when a brother walk in and he's smooth,
and you know and
he got big feet and smell good, he be like, I'm here now.
Angela said, yes, we know. Wow. Hey, so Angela, Nick, is there a sign a brother need to look for? So if he know how much money he needs to spend, he like, you ain't gonna get none. So
you'll never get the sign if she's good.
You'll never get the sign.
No, you won't know that until you on your way home. Did I just spend $200?
No.
I took her to Roof Chris.
You going to
she order
first date. Let me tell y'all the first date rule. And I've been studying this.
She done ordered that extra cheese, blue cheese on top of her steak. Yeah.
Answer to my she'll never tell. Answer, you know you wrong with that.
Never tell.
Hey, Answer, let me tell y'all something. Any dude that's going out with a lady, the first date should be an hour or less, and you meet at a place called Starbucks. A Starbucks, Barnes and Noble.
Like
the most you can get is a cookie on the first day.
Hey,
most you can get a cookie. Hey, that's all I'm gonna tell you. That's it. Most you can get is cookie. So so the second thing is this.
I'm sorry.
Second reason you know if it's time to let the relationship go is simply this. Everything is forced. Whenever you ever been with somebody, everything you do is an argument. Everything is hard. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. For us just to go out to dinner, where do you want to go in? It's an argument. It's like everything is so. If you have to make it work, if everything you do, you gotta make it work, then it doesn't fit together naturally. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, what if a relationship just Tiffany Fisher says Starbucks. I had to get an attitude. Starbucks.
Oh, Tiffany, don't even trip. Don't even trip. Starbucks, that latte, that mocha latte joint kind of expensive. Starbucks is the most expensive coffee there is. And you consider yourself.
And he gets nothing for real.
All I know is this right here.
Okay, I got
Number two, everything is forced. Whenever.
So what if a relationship just hits a bad spot? There have been times when, or actually just really one time when we went through that period, and it's just like nothing clicked. Everything that we did, everything that you did irritated me. Everything that I did irritated you. Nothing felt right. Everything felt forced. So how do you know whether, like, the difference between we hit a rough spot and this should be over forever?
I can tell you. Okay. I'm glad you answered me. Answer me that question. Okay. Here's why. It's because here's what I told somebody the other day. I said, attraction will get the person. Right. Values will keep the person.
Ooh,
now watch this. Attraction will get the person. Values will keep the person.
Good.
And what I mean by that, even though we might have a rough spot, our values were still the same.
Okay.
We still valued family. We still valued having a great relationship. We valued it, even though we hit a rough spot. What happens when you're forcing something is when their value systems change. You value staying at home, being faithful. They value going out, kicking it with whoever.
Oh, that's
okay.
Good,
you value this for spending money. This person, I value
the lights don't go out. Y'all, it's storming here, and
we hope the lights don't go out. They storm.
Blinking a little bit, so.
But that's so good. But do you see the difference? That's the difference between us square pegging around hole when the value system is the same. Because people get caught up there in personalities. Like my personality is different than yours.
Right.
I'm loud. You're really more calm and subdued, even though you're a comedian. You're more, you go in your corner when you don't talk, but I want to keep talking. Our personalities might be opposite, but our value system is the same. That's how you know. Oh, I can't.
Okay, Kitty.
Okay. When you say jinx, I couldn't talk. Okay. Okay. And that's the difference. Value system. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. That's good.
Give me some hearts, y'all, and some likes if you think that makes sense. Yeah. Because what happens, y'all, we get with people because we're attracted to them. And that attraction is good. Because you don't want nobody you ain't attracted to. I want to get aroused every time you've been over. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying.
My daddy might be watching.
I'm your daddy now. I'm just saying I'm your daddy. But the second thing is, here's the thing, the attraction is there, but if the value system ain't the same, they can't stay together. I promise you, they won't stay together. It's not going to work. Y'all, so what you want to do is find someone with a similar value system as you. You know what? How do you feel about raising kids? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? The things that matter the most. Because the truth of the matter, after you done busted 3, 4 times, 5, 6 times, I'm sorry, you know how graphic I am. But after you done busted a few times, you got to have more in common, more values that are together to stay together. After you done did it a multitude of many times, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. That's number 2.
Okay, what's number 3?
Number 3.
That was good. That was really good.
Number 3 is abuse of any kind. Emotional abuse is the worst. Emotional, physical, sexual, and financial. All of them are bad. I think the one that is the worst is the emotional abuse. Because most emotional and mental are similar, but you know, I don't know. I can't say that's the worst. I can't say that it's the worst.
Well, what I will say is that now, and I'm grateful to God that I've never been in an abusive relationship. But what I can say is that scars heal.
Right.
You know, I don't want anybody to be abused in any kind of way. But oh, Ronnie said, he said, I'm your daddy now. but scars heal, you know.
Right.
But emotional abuse, that stays with you long after the relationship is over. That emotional abuse can follow you from relationship to relationship to relationship.
Give me an example of that.
Gosh, I've never been in a situation like that, and let me just say
some of the people you've coached.
I know someone whose husband was not affectionate at all.
Okay.
Now that might not be considered emotional abuse, but he wasn't affectionate. He just, they had sex, but that was the only time that they touched or felt each other. That's not emotional abuse, but it was emotional for her. It made her feel like less of a woman. And so when she went into her next relationship, and the man tried to touch her or to be touchy-feely, she was very standoffish.
Okay.
So anything that's done, whether it's physical, I've had women to feel like, well, he must really care about me if he would hit me. I've had women to say that,
right.
He just cares about me. I made him so upset because he loves me so much. Or men that will emotional abuse. Like I talked to a lady 2 weeks ago where every time the man got angry with her, he would call her names. You right. Fat B, or you ugly B, or you. And we as women, we put all of our apples in one basket. When we're in a relationship with somebody and we're in love and the stars and unicorns and rainbows, we take all of our apples and we place them in one basket. And we're just so deeply in love. And we trust. We trust who we love. And so since we trust who we love, the things that you say to us, it becomes reality to us.
Wow.
And so if you call me an ugly bee, or ain't nobody else gonna want you, you walk out that door, ain't nobody else gonna want you, well, I'm gonna stay here because he's telling the truth, because he loves me and all of my apples are in this one basket, and if I leave him, I'm gonna be by myself. So it goes back to number one.
So essentially it's emotional indoctrination.
Ooh.
You're indoctrinating a person. It's emotional indoctrination. All right, Rashad says this. He says, it's also time to go. It's also time to, hold on, I lost him. Oh, there he is. It's also time to go when you feel like you have nothing more to offer the other person. There's no sense of living a miserable life with someone else you can be happy with alone. A lot of people, you're absolutely right, but a lot of people don't feel, they don't consciously say it. They might consciously say it, but subconsciously, they're so programmed and they're so conditioned. They know it on like an intellectual level, but we don't operate on intellect. We actually operate on emotion, and we use intellect to justify our emotions.
Boy, I'm finna cut this thing off and
go cut that thing on off.
What? Say that again. We use what?
I said, no. What it is, I said, what we do is we operate on emotions, right? And we use intellect to justify the emotions. We make emotional decisions, and then we use intellect to justify that decision.
Ladies, he ain't just fine, he's smart too.
I mean, what can I say?
That was a turn on for me.
I know it was.
Oh boy.
What's up, homeboy? Stony? What's up, baby?
You can't speak to Stony.
Okay, well, I know we deep into it.
Hey, Stony.
And let's see. So, all right. So here's what I want to say. Crystal Ray says, lose yourself completely. You leave them. Chris, you're absolutely right. When a person loses themselves completely, I got that in here under one of the things that I'm going to get to in a second. You are so right. People, you ever notice how sometimes, Nick, you will see a person that's been in a relationship and you don't even recognize them.
But you know what? Again, I'm going back to us women. What I think what happens is we try so hard to conform to the woman that this man wants us to be. We don't intentionally lose ourselves, of course, but we try so hard to be who he needs. As a you like red hair, I'm gonna get some red hair tomorrow. You some long fingernails, I'm gonna get some long fingernails. You don't want no stomach, I'm gonna order me a waist trainer. We try so hard to be what a man, and then so you look up one day and you don't recognize yourself.
Wow.
You know? But at the point that you don't recognize yourself, you're so far gone, you know, because you ain't looked at yourself in a while because you're so busy looking at the person that you're trying to conform for.
Wow. Wow. And now that we've gotten to that, that was actually number 10. Because I just scratched out the other one. Okay. But because that's number 10 right there. But let me go to number 4 real quickly. Number 4 is this right here. 4 is. You guys
getting something out of this tonight?
If you're getting something out of this, give us a little something. Because I mean, at the end of the day, y'all, we want to be entertaining. We want to be, but we want to empower you in the process. And some people need it, y'all. People are hurting out there. And relationships are difficult sometimes because you have so many different personalities, dynamics, your experiences, all of these things that come into play and come together, merge together once you get in a relationship. And then all of a sudden you got all this stuff together and it's not mixing well. You want to figure out when it's time for you to digest. Number 4 is lack of respect. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by lack of respect is this. You know you should leave when the person's always putting you down. If there are people talking about you in front of their friends, I've seen people who talk about their people in front of their friends. Like I would never try to down you, ridicule you in front of, or make you look bad in front of my friends.
I'm gonna be honest. Every now and then I call Kim Millennial and be like, yo, that brother done got on my nerves. But I always cover you. I had a really good friend. She's divorced and remarried. But she was with her husband for well over 20 years in her first marriage. And I never knew that she was unhappy. I never knew that she was unhappy because she covered him so well. Wow.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, she never, when she, you know, at the end of the relationship, and she did not do it until the divorce was complete, she sat down and we had a discussion and she covered him so well that like I was in total shock at some of the things that she shared with me. You know, and so I feel like in a relationship, that's what you're supposed to do.
Wow, I agree with that. But the next one is so powerful, and this is where a lot of people they stay in it. Mm-hmm. Number 5 is something you should never stay in a relationship if there's something you just can't get over. And here, and I'm telling you, and what I mean by that is because here's the thing: if I know it's something I just can't get over, I'm gonna always make you suffer for it. I'm gonna always make myself suffer for it. I'm always. So let's say.
So explain to me that. Like you'll bring it up. How when you say I'm always make you suffer, I always make myself.
Here's how I'm gonna make you suffer. I might even bring it up to you, but I'm gonna be mad inside. So I'm gonna do something. I don't want to take her. I ain't gonna get rid of this because if you cheated on me, the other dudes hit it because the picture is still in my head. Okay, you might not suffer outwardly or know that you're suffering, but I'm suffering inwardly, and my actions, everything I do is predicated on what I see in my head. And what I do is I ain't getting enough of no. I'm not getting enough of no anniversary. Our anniversary coming up.
Our anniversary is Sunday.
Anniversary is Sunday. You gonna give me something? Yeah.
It almost came out.
It
almost slid out. What I was gonna get.
Dana says, if you're married, what about forgiveness? Now, Dana, forgiveness is a powerful thing, and I agree with forgiveness. I may forgive you, okay, but I may not ever be able to get over it. So I may forgive you, but I may not ever be able to get over it. And if I can't get over it, even though I forgive you, I can't stay in a relationship with you. Now, I may stay in a relationship with you physically, but emotionally and mentally, I'm gone. Or I'm suffering. So that's the thing. And that's why a lot of people are actually suffering in relationships. They're suffering for something that the partner did. They say they're over it, but silently they suffer. Silently they suffer. Prayer works. It does. Prayer and time, I agree. But let me ask you a question, Dina. And I'm just going to speak for men. I'm going to speak for men right now. If a man is different. A man, if somebody else sleeps with his woman, and because we all got egos, right? It's not the fact of the sleeping with the woman, my woman, that bothers me. What it is the pictures that keep conjuring up in my head, the questions I keep asking myself. Did she suck his wee-wee? Did they do it this way?
Not if it was a wee-wee.
Not if it was a wee-wee. Hey, all I'm saying is,
I took myself. Okay.
Hey,
that's good.
Tracy says, hey, Tracy. Tracy says, I totally agree, Kim. If you can't get over it, it will eat at you like a cancer and make you miserable, make you and your partner miserable. I agree, absolutely. I absolutely agree. Let's see, Queen. Yes, sir, you're absolutely right. Christelle Ray, some things are unforgivable, and you can't forgive and still walk away because you aren't willing to tolerate it. I like that. She says you can forgive a person, but you just might not be. Might say, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore, so I ain't going to continue with it. What you think about that? I'll wrap up the last ones and we can get off. But I wanted to give them some.
I agree with everything you just said. I said what I said, and that's it. No, I'm just kidding. All
right, I'm gonna give you two more, and then I'm done. The next one, 6. Relationship becomes toxic. How do you know a relationship is toxic?
How do you know if a relationship is toxic?
Okay, when one of the telltale signs that a relationship is toxic, when you spend your time trying to hurt the other person. So let me give you an example. When you argue with a person, when we argue, we argue to solve the problem.
Right.
We never argue to hurt. We never argue to hurt each other, ever. When a person is attempting, number one, to control you, as I said earlier. Number two, when the person is trying to hurt you, be it physically or mentally and emotionally, then the relationship has become toxic. When everything you do, there's a problem. When everything you do, they got a problem with it. I got a problem with the way you look. I got a problem with the way you smell. I got a problem with you clean up.
Why you breathing?
I got a problem with you breathe. You breathing? You breathe.
I can't take it no more.
All righty then.
I'm about to take my britches off. Go ahead.
I mean, they can't see your britches, baby. Okay. Don't take them off. Let that thing hang. Hey, yo. All right. And so when the relationship is toxic, y'all, here's what happens when it's toxic. If you don't get out when you find out, the toxicity will poison you. It's going to be you. You might not be the one delivering the poison, but eventually you're going to be the one drinking the poison.
Oh, wow.
I mean, seriously, you can't help it. If you're in that environment, the fume's going to get on you. You're going to assimilate and become a part of that environment. So, and the last thing is this. How you know you need to leave is when your partner has zero desire to change to make the relationship better.
Ooh.
Zero desire.
They don't want to go to counseling.
They don't want to go to counseling.
They don't want to sit down and talk to you.
They don't want to hear it.
You tell them, I don't want you to go out tonight. They're like, look, I'm out. Like,
they have zero desire to change. I'm good, is what they say. I'm good. And if they say I'm good, the truth of the matter is you're not that much of a priority, or the relationship is not that much of a priority. And that now it's time to say, so long.
I will say this right here because that was done. That was it?
That was it, baby.
Okay. I want to say to everybody to know your worth. and know when to say when. I remember before we got married. Can I be transparent?
Be transparent.
I remember when I had been with him for about 11 years at this point. And our relationship was great. We were wonderful friends. The trust was there, the love was there, but Ken just did not want to commit to a marriage. And so, it wasn't like he was like, I ain't committing. He'd just say every year he would say, well, give me to the end of the year. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
You wrong.
So I held on for 365 days, a whole bunch of times. And I got to the point where, although I loved him with my entire heart, I felt like we could not grow anymore as boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, we couldn't buy nothing together. If I kicked the bucket or he kicked the bucket, the other one was just SOL. And so I went to Ken and I was like, I don't think I'm the woman for you. I don't. You remember that?
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that you always gotta be willing, and this is something that you told me, to never compromise my standards. You always gotta have standards, but you can't compromise them. And always be willing to walk away, because the life that you save just might be your own. Yeah.
Wow.
I said that part, not you.
I know. I'm tripping out here.
Yeah, but y'all, in this situation, how do you know when it's time to break up? You gotta love yourself first. I just told a friend of mine, write down on a piece of paper everything that you bring to the table, and flip that paper over and write down what your partner or what you desire in a partner. And every time you meet somebody, and things are subject to change on your list, but as you say, your core values stay the same.
So true.
Your
value system stays the same.
Now, you might turn an extra trick if the guy is convincing enough. You might say, I ain't gonna never try that. Then you might try that, but your value system, anyway.
I turned you into a freak. I turned you into a freak. Go on, say it. She's like, I never did anything like that. Well, you're gonna do it tonight.
but guys, I just want to, and women, just love yourself. Put yourself first. Be selfish as far as taking care. Always be willing to walk away. The life you save may be, she said that's so good. But just, put yourself first. Be selfish in that situation.
And the truth of the matter is, y'all, she's right about one thing. I didn't want to commit, not because I was just commitment averse. And when she stood up and said, okay, well, I'm out.
But I think we had both become complacent where we were.
Right.
And you knew I wasn't going nowhere. So look,
if you why buy the cow if you get the milk for free? I mean, I'm just not cow, literally, baby. That's the same.
I'm fat. I have issues with like cows and pigs and stuff like that. So.
You get stupid. Hey, y'all, listen, before we go, we got to tell y'all one thing. We are going to do.
Very good. And Myra said, I came in on just what I needed to hear.
Yes, good. Hey, listen up. Up in the description.
Yes.
We're going to be in Winston, y'all, this Friday at the Black Theater Festival, Hawthorne Inn. We want y'all to come out. We're doing a live pillow talk. It's going to be, our live events are off the chain, y'all. It's going to be music there. We're going to have comedy. We're going to have food. We're going to have liquor if you want that. We're going to have everything.
And look. Canes in the hand.
Hey, homeboy, you know how we do from there. Hey, look. Homeboy, you know my homeboy Stony, baby. He's about you wrong, kid.
That must have been when you said you don't do it tonight.
Hey, listen, we're going to come to the A soon. We got an event planned. It might be the end of the year or the first of next year. But y'all, tell everybody about what we're doing, because the truth of the matter is,
tell a friend to tell a friend.
There is nobody, and we know this, nobody in our age group and over 40 who talking real stuff like us, who are fun like us, who entertaining like us.
And we're cute like me.
We're uniquely equipped for this. And that's why we're building the following like we're building. Y'all, if you like what we're doing, kind of come out and support it because we want to do more of it. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know.
Kind of come out.
All of our events in Greensboro are always
right foot in and keep your right foot out, left foot out. You said kind of.
I'm trying to tell the people.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All our events in Greensboro are always sold out, but we trying to take it on the road, so we're trying to build a bigger following, y'all. So if you can, you're in the Winston area, Greensboro area, we want y'all to come out. But we are coming to the A-home, boy. We coming, baby. We working on the venue, everything.
And he told me when we come, Stoney, you was gonna take us to Ruth Chris. Thank you, dude. Yes. You didn't say that.
Oh boy, I didn't say that.
I know Stoney like what?
I didn't say that, oh boy. You know me.
He clicked out just there. He's like, I'm not here. I'm invisible.
All right, y'all. Look, anything else? And if you have any topics y'all want us to discuss, send us the topics, inboxes.
Please do.
All right, and one last thing. Go to our website, thegrandcanyons.com. Sign up for our newsletter because we're going to send out emails too for some of the stuff that we got going on, y'all.
And coming soon, my book, April 17th.
Oh yeah. Her book signing, baby. All right, we want to have about 200-300 in place. All right, we're going to get to that later on. We got so much stuff coming up, y'all. We just thank y'all. We appreciate y'all.
We do.
Appreciate y'all supporting us.
Thank you for sharing us. Thank you for telling your friends.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
We're the Grand Canyon. And our anniversary is Sunday, and we are out.
All right, y'all. We're